Hello, Baker County, and welcome back to the Press Pass, our weekly conversation about what's in the paper and what we're watching around the county. I'm Elizabeth, joined by Jessica Pravat, our publisher, and Joel Addington, our editor.
Thanks for service.
All right, so here's a quick question for you before we get into the news. What are you reading right now? Or what's your favorite book if you're not reading anything?
I started a Christine Feehan novel. I got it online when I went to the beach house. While I was at the beach, usually they have a fantastic library that I've been through like multiple times.
You needed something fresh.
Yes, because I mean they had a bunch of Louis L'Amour's, a bunch of
And she's
the
a
old
mystery,
stuff.
murder mystery type
Louis
writer.
L'Amour. Oh,
No,
Christine
Christine.
Feehan. It's kind of fantasy, romance, drama. I mean, it's like a combination. I don't tend to stay in one lane with my reading. I'm also a huge Tom Clancy fan, and so but I've kind of read a lot of his old stuff multiple times. So
Well, on the Tom Clancy tip, I haven't really been reading anything that much lately, but I have been watching a show on Netflix that came out in like 2018. It's called The Last Ship.
We finished that this weekend.
All right, well, don't tell me yet. Don't tell me. I'm like halfway through it, so don't tell me. But yeah, just that, particularly for the 4th of July, nothing like a battleship to get you, And of course, what's crazy about it is it was made or released in 2018, but it's about a global pandemic and the last military ship or one of the last. But anyway, that's what I've been into lately.
Yeah, my husband started that series and while I was at the beach. And so I actually missed like the first 2 seasons. He was already into 3 of 5.
Oh my God.
Now, according to him, because we did kind of finish it up through, I think, Monday night or Tuesday night, but the first 3 seasons, he said, were significantly better than the last 2. So
that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, but it was I was kind of fascinated by the way it kind of like trailed what happened after the fact. And
yeah, it's very interesting show.
Yes, it is.
The Last Ship, check it out.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. So our big story this week is the campaign finance budgets. So reports are showing how county commission candidates are raising and spending money ahead of our August 18th primary. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, you're in the thick of campaign season, and going through a lot of those election campaign reports. I did had to do a correction today, so I just want to note that as well, that we reported a couple of expenditures that were from the Jimmy Anderson campaign were assigned to the Horn campaign. Of course, they reached out this morning, and we got that all cleared up. So apologies for that. But in terms of the election, like I said, we're in the thick of it now. A lot of campaigning going on at all levels. But in terms of the coverage this week, it really gives readers an idea of who behind the scenes are supporting which candidates and how they're supporting them, whether it's with money or, in-kind donations in terms of campaigning. But you also get a sense of who's investing in the campaigns, whether it's the candidates themselves, which you often see a lot, or other folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's the campaign reports, which you can get them online, bakerelections.com. They post all that information there. The candidates, how frequently do they file reports?
I think it's about every 2 weeks during the campaign season.
So, but like Joel said, it's a great way to see who's donating to the campaigns. There's like maximum amounts, and there's a lot of rules behind it. But it's you also see how they're spending the money and where they're spending the money. So anyway, the reports they're just interesting, especially for somebody who likes a lot of data, likes to look at different things. Exactly. So, but kind of talk of the election. There's like 50 plus days left. I mean, it's going to be here before we know it.
We're going to blink and it's going to be primary time.
Yes. So the actual election day is August 18th. But if you're not registered to vote, or if you've moved to Baker County and you want to vote in a Baker County election, you have to register by July 20th at the Supervisor of Elections office. You can do it on the website. There's they make it very easy and very accessible to be able to go on and change your registration or update it or whatever. So
we're getting a mail ballot if you want.
Yeah. If you want to do mail-in ballots or absentees, whatever you call them. And then also early voting starts the 8th through the 15th of August. And then, like I said, election day is the 18th. So, I mean, you're already starting to see some of these candidates and supporters on the street corners waving and holding signs. Signs are
Campaign
popping up
videos
all
on social
over.
media. I've seen a lot of
Um,
those.
I do just have to say, for all the candidates.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Well, this is about signs. I'm seeing a lot of signs pop up, and they're popping up in places they're not supposed to.
Oh,
They're
really?
popping up in public right of ways and places like that. So, guys, just make sure they're not in bad places. They're
Yeah,
not
private
in
property.
illegal. Private property
And
is
with
good.
the property owner's permission.
Exactly. And I mean, I think that's kind of the key. And I'm sure the bulk of all candidates do. And a lot of times I think what you have is supporters that are trying to help their candidate out by putting up the sign. But yeah, kind of make sure you're not hanging them on the power poles, not allowed. And they're not in the public right of way. Because I mean, if you get them too close to the road, you can't say pull out. You cause a wreck. And as a candidate, you don't want to lose those votes. So, but yes, it's just there is a lot going on with the election season. It's really going to ramp up. We're going to be doing Q&As here in the office. We're going to have the candidates come in later this month.
Should be very interesting.
Yeah, we're going to post those interviews on YouTube. Another reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
And we're also going to have a breakdown in the paper like we normally do of those Q&As. So, you know, as I always say, get informed, because if you want to be an informed voter, and then also definitely go vote, because if you don't vote, you have no right to complain.
Now, early voting is up at the office, right? And
It's at
then
the elections
the
office.
election.
Normal business hours at the elections office, but I think they also do Saturdays.
Yes, I think
They
do, 'cause
kind
I
of
did last year.
expand their hours, they expand their days. It's
They're trying to make it as convenient for people to get in and out as they can.
Right.
yeah, because I mean the
sure we'll
rules
have
have
that
changed.
paper.
It seems like every couple of years the rules get changed a little bit, but for the most part, you know, I think they're required to stay open for a certain amount of days during a certain time period. And I believe, you know, the supervisor of elections, Chris Milton, and his staff and all the volunteers that participate, they will put a lot of hours in to make sure that you can get in there and you can cast your vote. So you got plenty of time to think about it, plenty of time to research the candidates, local, state, and all the way up to the top.
Yeah, shout out NPA candidate. That would be a no party affiliation. So an independent candidate came in for an interview with me last week, and we should have that next week. And that is Mike Klein out of Gainesville. So hear more about him next week.
And he's running for
Congress. Yes,
Yeah.
he's running, or he'll be running in the general election against Kat Kamak, the incumbent congresswoman out of Ocala.
Yeah. So and we'll be doing these briefs. We're going to be doing some deeper dives into candidates now that the ballot's locked in.
Ballot's locked in.
Yeah. We kind of want to make sure you guys know a little bit about the people running from the local levels all the way up. So,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. So lots going on. Be sure to get a paper there, you know, every week from now, at least until August 18th.
Yep.
All right. So next up, we got our little community spotlight. So the Baker County American Legion Post 83 officer, Junnie Watson, received the Department of Florida's J.G. Tracy Taylor Award for outstanding service to fellow veterans.
Yeah, anybody that's ever met Miss Junie knows that she is a ray of sunshine no matter where she goes. And she's also, what struck me is how humble she is. I mean, she's somebody that puts in the time, the hours, the connections, the relationships. And then she gets this massive statewide award. And I ask her a couple of questions, and she doesn't really have that much to say.
She doesn't like to brag on
She
herself.
she literally said,
Right.
well, you know, it's not just me. I have a lot of help at the Legion. Of course, all the folks at the Legion are talking about she's the heart of the Legion. And,
Right.
but anyway, so read
Very
more about
humble.
Miss Junie and all the great work she's been doing.
Yeah, because I mean, the
Very
Legion
humble.
does so much for veterans, for the community at large. I mean, they are a super involved civic organization, and I actually learned something interesting with the Legion. They have their auxiliary,
Right.
and I didn't realize because obviously was not ever in the military, but my parents, well, my dad was, and I could join the auxiliary.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I
Yeah.
thought that you had to actively serve or your spouse. But at I think it was the Women's Club Health Fair,
Hmm.
they had a booth set up, and I actually ran into my old third grade teacher there, Miss Patty Holmes, and
Shout out Miss Patty.
yes, many memories there. And then her grandchildren were swimming with my child. Anyway, she's very involved with the auxiliary over there, along with her daughter Jennifer. And she was like, "You need to come join. You need to get involved." And I was
Yeah,
like,
they have a
"Yeah."
ladies auxiliary. They got the family. I think there's a sons of auxiliary, the
Hmm.
writers auxiliary.
Yeah, they do so much. And I mean, it's a great resource. And I mean, whether you're a member or not, they will help a veteran in a heartbeat if they absolutely can. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss Junie, congrats. We need more people like you.
That's right. Yeah, I was just reading through the notes, and it has the nomination cited 450 service hours, 625 miles traveled, and extensive work helping the Veterans Resource Fair, Gold Star family events, and
Mm.
outreach to women. So shout
Yeah.
out Miss Junie, man.
Yeah, and I
Pretty
mean
awesome.
they have a women's veterans coffee social.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yep, July 18th from 10 to noon at the Post. It's located over next to Heritage Park off of Louder. Um, so stop by if you're a lady veteran and get some coffee and make some new friends.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, guys. So our developing story, I know Joel is just dipping his toe into this, but the county audit is in.
Yes, and
All
on
right.
time.
And
By
on
the
time.
Skin of their teeth.
I mean, we got kind of tickled because Tuesday evening, Commissioner Mobley, who kind of got put in charge of herding those sheep and getting all that together, he stopped by to show us the email that said the audit was put in on time. I mean, like you said, by the skin of their teeth,
June-
but they got it in.
Yeah, June
Wow.
30th is the deadline in state law, and that was Tuesday,
And we hit
and we hit it.
it.
But anyway,
So-
more to come on that in terms of, but early indications are positive financial audit for the 24-25 fiscal year that ended September 30th, 2025. So that 2025 was kind of when all this federal stimulus money from COVID and post-COVID years had to be spent by. So they saw a lot of revenue in 2025 that they're not going to have going forward. However, they essentially got more money than they budgeted for the year, and they spent less money than they thought they were going to spend or planned on spending. So that netted them about 7 to 9 million, if memory serves, of like additional revenue during the course of the year that they saw. So,
It's a whole bunch of numbers,
a whole bunch of
Right.
numbers, a lot of money, and now they're going to have to decide how to spend it. That's the long and short of it.
Well, and kind of along that line, Tuesday night there is a commission meeting, and the auditors are supposed to be there
They will
to
be
present
given
the audit.
The
So
whole presentation,
yeah,
in detail,
go-
and take commissioner questions.
yeah, so I mean there'll be a lot more details and information, explanations, because I will be the first to admit that audit is massive. It is like over my head in a lot of cases. I have lots of questions about things, but they'll be there. So I mean, go to the meeting or watch it.
Yeah,
they stream them on Facebook.
We'll
and
have
YouTube.
a good primer in next week's edition.
Mhm.
That'll hopefully get some folks, thinking along those lines.
Yeah, just real quick, share why residents should care about something like an audit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the audit kind of it makes sure the county's doing what they're supposed to be doing with their money, their budgets, that the money is being properly accounted for.
When it comes from
essentially
us.
yeah. All the money that comes from people and in the form of taxes and fees and assessments,
Grants and all of that stuff.
Yeah, where all that money goes is detailed in those audits, and this is audits are always looking backwards, whereas budgets look forward. So every year the county and every government has to budget money for the coming year that they're about to walk through, while the audit looks back at exactly how that money was spent or not spent, as the case may be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Super good
it's
way to
kind
look
of
at it.
like when the IRS comes and audits somebody. I mean, if there's some sketchiness going on, theoretically, it'll catch that. And they haven't had that, but they also, it can show some issues or problems. I mean,
Yeah, if you're
it's
losing money in a particular part of government or
Mhm.
hemorrhaging money or whatever,
Right.
that's going to show up in the audit. Because a lot of times when you're in the thick of operating a government, you don't always know exactly where the money's at all times. So they do these audits so that they can look back and hopefully make improvements on how they operate.
And now, because the audit is done, we can better inform next year's budget. So
Yes.
when people are
Yes,
asking,
which this is the audit for what is it?
Yeah.
23,
24.
24
The
or
audit
20? Yeah.
24-25 is the audit year that we're going to be reporting on. We are currently
Okay.
in the 25-26
26.
fiscal year, which
Right.
ends in
Right.
September.
so there's a
And of
delay
course,
there. Again.
next June will be when we see that audit.
Right. So I mean, and two now, and you'll have to refresh my memory, Joel. The county has put out a request proposals for new auditors.
Yes, they're going out to
So
bid for auditing services countywide.
okay.
All right. So it's 4th of July weekend. America is turning 250.
Yes, yes.
We might not be around for the 300s.
We got this.
So-
We got this in this week's paper to kind of show our patriotism. We've got them all in our windows, and if you got a paper, I'd like to see it in yours.
Yeah.
It's funny. We talk about the 250,
Mm-hmm.
and what is that? The
Sesquicentennial, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, Baker
Hard
County
word.
celebrated our sesquicentennial a few years ago.
A few.
I think it was like 2015-ish or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. But it was funny because this past week I was talking to my mom, and her and my dad's first date was to go see the Freedom Train that was making its way around the country during the bicentennial
That was
50 years ago.
That was 1976 or 8. Wait,
76.
76.
76.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1776 is the
Yeah.
founding of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
country.
yeah.
Yeah, it was 1976.
Right.
So apparently they don't do the Freedom Train anymore. And the Freedom Train was like, I guess, a train that
Well, yeah,
traveled
tell me
the
about that.
country. And it was like a traveling museum
Oh.
of America during the Revolution, and I think up to like
A
1976.
traveling museum.
Yeah, and so they went up and they got to see it, and that was their very first day. And so she mentioned, she said, "Told your dad they don't do the Freedom Train; they have a Freedom Plane
Oh.
that they've been touring
Okay. I was
the
wondering
country
if
with."
they had. I thought they had a bus, but
Yeah, well, Florida
they've
has.
upgraded.
Yeah, Florida is doing like a bus that's supposedly traveling to all the counties. Of course, never did see Baker County on their
Of course not.
schedule. I mean, they went to Keystone Heights. That's smaller than us.
What?
But they couldn't come to Baker County. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I guess the federal government did a Freedom Plane, and the closest it got was Atlanta, Georgia.
Aw.
So she was like, "Yeah, we talked about trying to go to kind of recreate that first date 50 years ago, but yeah, who wants to go to Atlanta? No, thank you." So, but I mean, obviously, the 250th, lots going on, a significantly bigger celebration. It's too big for one day.
Certainly.
I mean, as they said, Governor DeSantis gave them lots of days off this year to celebrate, plenty of time to recover. So, we've got multiple events just in Baker County.
Yeah, starting Friday night, right?
Yeah, Friday is the big, well, there's actually two. So the American Legion is doing some stuff Friday. They've got a dinner that's like a $15 donation. And normally the Legion is not open to the public.
But
But
today.
they are opening
Or
to the
tomorrow.
public for Friday and Saturday. So they've got a dinner. They're doing 50-50. They're doing raffles, a cake auction or sales.
Yeah, I think the Legion
So-
is planning basically a full weekend of festivities
Yes,
around the
they are.
250th
They are.
anniversary.
If anybody should, it's them.
Right.
Exactly. But the Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with the TDC and FPL and Phantom Fireworks, putting on their annual bash, and it's promising to be huge. I mean,
Is this with the city as well?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
no, the city. Well, I guess the city is considered a partner as well, but
they're letting them
the
use the
chamber
park.
does all the
Yeah, the fire
organization and
department
the
is
work.
always on standby.
Right. Yeah, they will be
Yes,
there.
the fire department shoots off the fireworks, but at the duck pond, and I've seen the layout. They have over 40 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of food trucks. They've kind of rearranged everything so the vendors are going to be kind of into the park,
Mhm.
similar to like their I think the sheriff's office did National Night Out.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
like on the playgrounds and like
Right.
amongst the activity.
So I mean, you're going to have all that. They're going to have live music.
Probably for more room for parking.
Yes, they're kind of, but they're also going to have more food trucks because they have way more vendors. I've never
Yeah.
seen this many vendors at this event, and it's not an all day sit out in the heat and swelter event.
No, it's
Mhm.
short
6 to
term,
10.
4
Yeah.
hours,
Yes, and
fun, fireworks, food.
yeah, and I mean they've got
friends.
the food trucks. They've got some local organizations, nonprofit organizations that are going to be selling things. There's going to be candidates, so that means lots
Yeah.
of freebies.
A lot of handshaking and
That's
Babysitting.
it. I mean, it's a good time to pin them down if you have a question.
Yeah.
But then like I said, they have the big stage, the live band, and then there you got fireworks at 9, but the music's going till 10. So if you don't want to have to try and get into that traffic,
Yeah,
'cause
right.
usually when the fireworks stop, everybody
The good block.
scatters. Now you can hang out, listen to music, maybe get another snack before you hit the road.
Yeah.
And then we roll into Saturday. The Legion has more going. That's more kid friendly, I think.
yeah, kids activities, games, bounce houses, free food, stuff like that for families. We'll be at the Legion during the daytime Saturday.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the site starts at 11, and then they're also doing, I think, roadkill bingo. That sounded kind of interesting that evening.
Yep.
They're doing a dinner, and so it's kind of their stuff there Saturday, and Souls Harbor Church. They've done a big July 4th event, fireworks, more live music. They've got some raffles. It's not as much like vendor oriented, but I went last year for the first time, honestly, and it's a great fireworks show. And the music's good. They have a big, huge stage set up. It's local people. Shout out! I think my kid's playing with them this year. So
So go to
excited
both
about
and tell
that.
us which one is better.
Yeah,
We can start a beef if we want to.
because I mean, it's kind of cool to me. I remember the days of if you didn't go to Jacksonville to see
Right.
the fireworks, you didn't really see fire unless you shot them off at your house, and that could be dangerous. And we
Didn't
did that
Memphis
too.
used to shoot them off? I feel like when I was little,
Yeah,
the
it's
state
different
hospital
methods
did it.
may have.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to do a lot of events like that out there. But I mean, for us, it was always a big deal if our parents decided to pack us up and drive to Jacksonville to see the big fireworks show.
Yep.
And if we didn't get to do that, then we usually stayed home. And PBS would broadcast the Washington D.C. event. And you
Yeah.
got to hear the Sousa marches and all
Right.
the things, and it was kind of cool, to watch them on TV. But it's not the same as getting to go see
And shoot
them.
each other with
Yeah.
Roman candles. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Disclaimer.
we've had a few of those instances. I mean,
Everybody's got a story.
yeah, you set the woods on fire accidentally. So be very careful with those little guys that go up in parachutes and come down, because if they land in a tree, it
Oof.
does tend to catch fire.
Speaking from experience, Jessica.
Yes, just a little bit, but it wasn't my fault. It was Lauren's. Shout out her. But yeah, it's we're gonna go see fireworks. We're gonna go see fireworks Friday night, Saturday night. Save the time and the aggravation and probably the hair on our arms by not shooting them off
Right.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Just I'm getting older. I'm getting wiser. Can't speak for my kids, but
Yeah.
for me, yeah,
So
we're
traffic
good.
wise, is there going to be any closures that we know of, like street closures, or are we good?
No, but I'm guessing that Saturday night, the
not
area
quite
around
Heritage
Duck
Park.
Pond, the
Yeah.
stadium.
Saturday night's going to be the 90 Glen.
Sorry, Friday
Yeah.
night. It's going to be a little crazy over there by the stadium.
Yeah, they park all over the place for that. It's
Yes.
just drive slowly through there.
Yeah.
There's going
Right.
to be kids
Kids running around.
and yeah, but they're going to be parking all around the stadium, all down those side streets, and then also on Saturday night at Souls Harbor, that is located there on 90. And usually there are deputies out there that kind of have their lights on to warn people to slow down because people line US 90 through there to watch the fireworks, and it can get very packed and very dangerous because it's dark, and you've got 90, which is a busier road. So
certainly. But hopefully the sheriff's office and
oh yeah,
the other first responders will be, rescue will be on hand, and
oh
everybody will
yeah,
be safe.
they always have
Having a good time.
plenty of manpower out there, and just be safe, be careful, and celebrate. It's a big to do to be able to say you're around and can remember.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the bicentennial predated me by a few years. So I get to say I remember the 250th.
Yeah. All right. So one of our users submitted questions. I don't know how fully we can answer this,
We're
but
gonna try.
they sent it in and they said, has the Sunday alcohol sales position shifted any with the new members we've gotten on the board? Or will it, I guess we could say.
Well,
We do have some younger commissioners now.
well, we have a younger. Well, no, that's right. We got Blake. Yeah, two younger ones.
Yeah, they haven't really been
So
approached about this issue in a long time, so it's hard to say how they would vote, or would they put it on the ballot for you know uh, residents,
you're right.
constituents, voters to have a say. I'm not sure, but it's a good question.
I mean, my gut instinct is there's not enough votes on the board. There's older commissioners, longer term commissioners, whatever, however you want to call them. There's commissioners that have been on there. I don't think any of them were on there back when that ordinance went into effect, but it's close. But no, I mean, there's several older ones. I would have a feeling they're not inclined to put it out there for voters. There's still the general feeling that just because they don't sell on Sunday, it's not, we haven't reached the point to where it's affecting businesses coming out because of the demographics. We don't have the numbers to support a lot of the restaurants. People seem to think that won't come because of that. Because there are places where some of these chain restaurants, that have a bar in them, they do open in places where there is like a Sunday sales law. But when you've got enough people to support the restaurant without the alcohol sales on Sunday for that one day a week,
They'll come anyway.
they'll come regardless. And
Yeah,
so, I mean,
traffic rooftops matter way
right,
more than that one day of sales.
right. I mean, and we've got enough restaurants locally, I think, that do sell, that don't obviously sell on Sunday. And they're here, and several of them have been here.
Woody's.
Yes. So, I mean, would they make more money? I'm sure absolutely they would. And if they could, get in on the NFL games and stuff like that. But it hasn't been a make or break for them. They've been here a while.
Yeah. So it hasn't been a deterrent for growth.
Exactly. Now, I mean, as the county grows and, if some of these developments get built out that have been approved, that will change the dynamics. But I mean, you're probably looking several years down the road.
Yeah, I would say we need a lot. Probably have to double in size before something like that would happen. But
yeah, but I mean,
it's a good question.
Yeah, you get enough new blood on the board. It's over the years that question has come up repeatedly, and we've asked it. I'm sure the existing board members. I mean, Blake he gets the exception because he hasn't had to actually campaign, so he hasn't gone through the Q&A yet. But like Jimmy Anderson, Mark Hartley, they've done this a few times. They've done the Q&As, so they've had that question. They've answered that question. I don't remember if we asked Ronald Mann and Tyler. It seems like we did.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Tyler Mobley or Ronald Mann or Blake Iverson stand on that particular issue, but we can definitely find out.
Feel free to send in your opinion, commissioners.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting. My gut feeling says no. There's not enough votes on the board to put it out. Either A, because they could just make the decision. they don't have to put it out to voters.
Mhm.
They made the decision
They
to
can just change the
to-
ordinance with a
yep.
couple of public hearings.
Now,
they,
does
you
the
know, it
city,
wasn't them.
does
No,
the
it's
city
the county.
commission affect it at all?
No.
Okay.
The county made the decision, and like I said, that decision did predate any of the current commissioners. That predated my knowledge of politics. I kind of remember it briefly, but I was significantly younger, so news was not in my things to know phase. But it's they created it. They could take it away, or they could put it to voters. More than likely, at what point it changes, it will be because the commissioners just decided to, you know what, it's an outdated law. It's time to get rid of it. Let's do that. But I don't feel like with the commission and the feelings have changed enough to do that yet.
Yeah, they certainly don't talk about it. There hasn't been this sort of groundswell of voters coming to commission meetings talking about we need to change this law. So
Yeah,
it's not been an issue lately.
But like I said, the more rooftops we have, the more likely that is to happen. So we shall see.
All right. Sounds good. So make sure to follow us, do all the things, hit like, subscribe, leave us a comment. We're
gaining traction.
We're trying.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a fair amount of people. And if you enjoy the podcast, let us know. Just shoot us an email. Drop a comment on there. Share it with your friends.
Ooh, yes.
And certainly, if there's anything you'd like to know more about or like to see us address,
for us to cover,
absolutely. Just give us a shout out.
All right, if you've made it this far and you're watching us the whole way through, drop us a little flag emoji in the comments since it's July 4th, so we know that you made it all the way. All right, and we will see you next week.
Have a great July 4th.